So this is the second part of what an employee would see for the onboarding documents. Basically, this is them completing their hire documents online. Again, most of them hopefully can do this from home on their own, on their computer or smartphone, but if they come in the office and need help with it, you can guide them through it. So I just want everyone to be able to see it. So they would continue on to continue questions. So this is where it's going to start asking for like their personal info. So I'll put my title in here. I could put my middle name, try to get them to put a middle name if they have it. I won't right now just for time's sake. I'll put my date of birth in here. I could already kind of remembered it. Gender. They can put their driver's license, all that information there. We won't right now. Social Security. I'm just going to put a dummy social in here. And it's going to make them verify that. And I'll go pick my marital status, and then we'll continue on through here. It's going to ask for my phone number and email address, just to confirm that. Again, it'll pull that information over from Kwantek if it was already entered in. Address, again, that'll pull it over from Kwantek. If they have a separate mailing address, they can enter their mailing address separately. They do have to, I'm going to try to get this question turned off, but they have to put their county or their parish in there. For now, it's required. It's going to make them set up an emergency contact. So we'll put Leah in here for me. And we'll just put the corporate office number, and she is my spouse. Continue on. They can add more than one emergency contact if they want to right here where it says add emergency contact, but it does require them to put at least one in. Then it's going to collect their direct deposit information. Here, they can, obviously, if they have checking or savings or pay card, it's going to ask for that. This is a required field right now. We're pretty much requiring that, it's the only way we're going to pay going forward. So if they don't have one, they can't complete this step, and they'll have to come back and complete it later. But we're all going to work with a pay card company here in the coming days. There'll be more information to come on that. And so if they don't have a checking or savings or a pay card otherwise already, they'll be able to click on pay card and actually apply for one on the spot, and it'll generate them a routing and account number for that, and they'll be able to move on with the onboarding. So we'll have that option very soon. There'll be a lot more information to come. But I'm going to go ahead and say it's a checking. I'll put my dummy info for a Whitney account. All right, so for the account number, it doesn't validate it or verify it, so whatever they put in, they just have to put it in twice. But it does make sure that this is a valid routing number. So this is a routing number for Whitney Bank, so that has to be legit. Otherwise, it won't take a bogus one. It will take a bogus account number. So and then they can decide, they can set up more than one account and split their money up, but I'm going to put all my money in that one account because that's what 99% of people would do. We're going to cruise on through here. It's just confirming that I want all my money in my Whitney account. Yes, yes, yes. Then it's going to go to the company policies and procedures. They can go here. They can actually view the employee handbook. It'll open it up. They can save it in a PDF. They can print it. They can view it, whatever they want to do. But main thing, we want them to say, do you agree to these terms and policies? They have to agree to them to get through the process. This is the acknowledgement form. So this is basically kind of duplicate saying they read it and that they understood it, et cetera, et cetera. It's kind of a little bit of the same thing, but it's a good practice to have it in there twice. So they've acknowledged all our company policies and procedures. They can go to the next point. Here's where they put their demographic information. So they answer some basic questions about veteran status, disability status, ethnicity, et cetera. I think I put that as Hispanic. I guess it matters. Then they move on to the I-9 document, so they can attest that they're a citizen or what their legal status is, and they can have some options here, but basically it pushes it on through. They can do their W-4. They can use the little worksheet, or no, if they just know they want to be like single and none or single and one, they can click no and just basically say, hey, I'm going to choose single, and my number of allowances down here are going to be 0. And if they want to do additional withholdings, they can put that in there. They can write exempt in this box if they're exempt for some reason. That's probably not most people. So if they do the worksheet, it'll just ask them all their status, and then it'll add up the number at the bottom of like what they can allow. So It's helpful, but it's just an extra step in there. Again, right now they'll be able to choose the work state. Again, we only have one site in there. We're going to have these divvied up. So if it was for a Texas job site, that should say Texas, and then I would go and say, hey, I'm going to fill out a Texas form. The nice thing about this, Texas does not have a state withholding, so we just kind of breezed right over that step. But if it was for Louisiana or another state where they have state income tax, they would fill out the state form. There is a medical question in here. This is mainly going to be for Louisiana, so this may come off for our Texas job sites once we get this divvied up. But otherwise, if it's still on there, they can go through it and answer it. It's not going to hurt anything. It's our basic paper medical questionnaire that we've always had, so they can take that all the way to the end. It's not requiring them to answer anything right here. At the very end, it has a couple required questions, so they'll have to work their way through that. It's 4 or 5 of them. All right, so they're done with that part of it. This is going to be a really long video, but we're almost done. All right, then it'll take them to the WOTC stuff. If they answer yes to any of these questions, it will ask for additional information. If they answer no, they probably don't. They won't qualify for WOTC, any kind of WOTC credits, but that's fine. It'll just roll them right through that. So they are through with the onboarding, and now all they have to do at the very end is they have to electronically sign their documents. There's 2 different ones here. So it's going to take a second to think about that and load. And then this is all their onboarding forms. So this is their basic information, their address, their direct deposit information. They're going to put their PIN code that they created at the beginning to approve that document. They're basically electronically signing off on all those things that they're true. And then the I-9 has to be done separate. So there's the I-9. We can kind of scroll down and view the information that's in there on the I-9, and they can say, yep, that's good. They'll put their PIN in. They'll approve it. And that is it. Bring them back to the home screen. They are done with the onboarding, and it says pending manager approval. That's for HR to handle on their end. So that's what it looks like going through the whole hire process from an employee standpoint.